Okay, let's do some Final Fantasy Rebirth here. We'll go through the settings here. Okay, so we're going to have to set it to 120. That's the engine here. But we'll go with the kind of highest settings here. And we'll see where we're at here. We'll go no scaling to start. And I am going to go through the power modes here as well, just to kind of get an idea of how the different power modes perform. So that's 1600p, just native max. You can see the GPU is pulling about 130 watts or so. CPU pulling 73. You'll notice that those drops, those are just engine drops. Unfortunately, it's just the way this game is. It's brutal. So anyway, so at performance mode, it's a little noisy, obviously. Well, mute the game. 53. So let's try balanced mode. We went from 86, 87. So we dropped very little, 4 FPS, which is to be expected. These 70 series are going to be very efficient. Just like last year, the Ada Lovelace, you don't really gain much by going over 100 watts, like, what was that, 3 frames? Significantly quieter. So a lot of the time, you're going to be able to run this thing at like 90 to 100 watts. Very quiet now, which is quite nice, to be honest. And we'll go down to silent. And you can see even in silent, it's very playable. We're down to 70 watts on the GPU now, and the CPU is really low. So we might actually start to be hitting a CPU issue here. That's fine, right? If you can't play this game at 60 FPS, 65, 70, who are you? But we're going to, for the purpose of benchmarking, primarily we're going to go with performance mode, even though it's noisier. Even though now we know right at the beginning of the video that the balanced mode gives you basically almost the same performance. So most of the time, you know, if I'm running a 60 or 70 series card, 5060, 6060, I use this route here. And we'll try a little scaling too, but we'll try a run through just normally here. Took me long enough, but I finally went and got myself. How many times I've heard that? So once you get that initial pop-in gone, it's going to run really well. You can see, I mean, we're at 130 watts. The CPU, the GPU, these 60 series, 70 and 80 tier, you usually don't need that many watts. You can set it to like 100 and you'll be fine, if even that. On the 80 and 90, of course, you know, you can get more, but not bad. Let's try a little scaling, see if we can jump up the frames just slightly, even though it's running really well, to be honest. But maybe you want more. We do have DLSS, so. Yeah, pretty big jump there. So really big jump there. Actually almost up to 100, or almost static at 100. Very good. Let's try that silent mode on this here. Yeah. Like, yeah, you can throw it on silent mode and then just throw on a little bit of scaling and still max the game out and get awesome performance here. You'll find, I might actually do a series again. I've done a series again for last generation, 4000 series, where I did, I think it was a 4060, but like 4060, 70, 70 Ti, they should be very capable on silent mode. So you can really get away with silent mode gaming. And yeah, you lose a little bit of performance, but it's silent almost. Like that's not really much noisier than just idle. Just the fans are on at most, so. Right. And the temperatures are obviously quite good. Where are we at here? 66 on the CPU, 63 on the GPU. That's only slightly above idle, to be honest, so very good. Let's try 4K, though. It might kill the game. We'll see. Sometimes it does. Okay, so 4K now. So 4K now. Same settings. We're on performance mode, though. And we have 66% scaling. Otherwise, everything's the same. So you're going to get away with 4K easily in this game. Right, a little bit of scaling. Without scaling, you'd be back down to 60, which again is fine, to be honest. But if you want, you might as well throw on scaling, especially at 4K. You're not going to be able to tell it's on at all. And you're going to get really high performance here. So And this is an extremely hard area of the game to run. Okay, next game. That was very successful. Here, we're going to do Black Myth Wukong here. Let's see, 1600p. Yeah, let's try it without. So we're going to go, let's turn it up. So we'll go cinematic presets, but no frame gen and no ray tracing to start. See where we're at. Okay, so here we are. That's cinematic presets, 1600p. We do have scaling, but we don't have frame gen. It's actually running pretty well. I didn't really anticipate it to get that high. But, I mean, there you go. Almost 60 consistently. Basically, I consider that almost 60. Good lows, too, so that's pretty good, actually. I mean, it's not bad. I just want to kind of get a baseline here. Let's turn up scaling, or turn off scaling. I just want to get some baselines here for comparisons. So no scaling, yeah, 38, little rough, 1600p cinematic. I mean, you could play like this, but I wouldn't. It's not bad, to be honest. That is a very 60 FPS there. So yeah, 75% scaling. Actually, you can play like this. So just cinematic 75% scaling, and you're basically at 60. It's going to go up and down, but I mean, it's around 60 gameplay. It's not bad. Let's turn on some frame gen. So that's 4 times frame gen at 75% scaling. Jeez, such a huge jump. Because our base is 60-ish, frame gen feels fine. If your base is very low, and then you throw on frame gen, it's going to feel like crap, just so you know. But if you're, your frame gen's 50 or 60 beforehand, it's going to feel fine. Okay, so now we're back with those ray tracing settings. Let's see if they actually stuck this time. Yeah, so we're at, let's go 50% scaling to start here. But we do have ray tracing and cinematic presets. So very high ray tracing and cinematic presets with frame gen. But we'll see how it feels. That's not bad. I mean, we're probably getting a decent base, so it doesn't feel laggy and weird. The lows aren't fantastic, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, it's not bad, to be honest. Not bad at all. Let's try some 4K. Okay, so 4K with very high presets and medium ray tracing. It's actually not bad. We do have frame gen, but it's actually not bad at all. Again, our base is high enough that it doesn't feel like crap. Let's just come in here and we'll turn that up, see if it feels okay. It's threatening us, so it might be a little low, especially with the base before frame gen. Yeah, 93. Yeah, now it feels weird, and you can see, you might be able to see it on camera, maybe not, but I can see it. So that the base is too low here, so that the frame gen is kicking us up from what, probably like 35 or 40 or something, and it just feels like crap here. So yeah, you can definitely do 4K even with very high settings, but you will need some frame gen or more scaling. Okay, so now we're in Cyberpunk. We'll try a lot of different settings here because it's kind of a really good benchmark game. So we're at Ray Tracing Ultra. We do have balanced scaling, no frame gen. So Ray Tracing Ultra. And that's pretty good. Again, without frame gen, we're around 60 or so. This is an absurdly hard area of the game to run. Yeah, and we're not hitting 60, but we're pretty close. And this is a very, very hard area of the game to run, to be honest. So you could throw on some frame gen now if you wanted, and you'll be just fine, to be honest. We can try. I mean, I just want to get a baseline. It's going to be too. It's going to be too low, but let's just throw on no scaling. I just want to see what it gets without it. Probably going to be pretty low, like 30-ish or something. Oof, not even. Yeah. So you need the scaling. That's pretty rough. It's a decent GPU, but it's not loaded full of ray tracing cores. So, I mean, that makes sense. Right? Try normal ultra. Just turn off ray tracing for now. Let's go like that. So just normal ultra. Try it native. So native ultra without ray tracing, yes, a huge jump. Because we don't, this, I mean, it has ray tracing cores, the 5070 Ti, but it's not loaded full of them, like a 5080 or 5090. So, you know, it does start to tank without the ray tracing, but when you turn it off, you get really good performance. So 1600p ultra native, and I mean, you're cooking here, to be honest. You could throw on just the lightest amount of scaling here and really probably watch it take off. Let's go with, I mean, you can use more, especially with the transformer model, but we'll just go with that. Right, another big jump. This is how I'd probably play if you don't want ray tracing. Just quality, huge performance jump. Okay, let's try putting that ray tracing back on just out of curiosity. So we'll go back to that ray tracing there, and we'll turn on a little bit of scaling again, and it ran pretty bad. It was okay, but we will turn on frame gen here. So we'll go like that. We'll have to reboot. Okay, so now we're back with 4 times frame gen, and obviously there's going to be a gigantic jump in performance here. We'll come through here, check the settings. So just to double check, we're at ray tracing ultra. Just try quality with frame gen. Let's see how that looks there. So yeah, and we're getting 145. Let's see if it's a little chuggy. That might just be texture popping, so we'll do a run through again. But we're actually getting like bad frame drops here. Nah. Yeah, it's like unplayable here with ray tracing ultra with frame gen. I mean, we could turn up scaling, I guess. It's pretty bad though. Let's try maybe some more. It's just like, it was just really chugging there. It's still doing it. You can see those drops. Those aren't like micro drops. Those are like hard drops. Sure, okay. Well, let's turn off ray tracing. I just want to see what we get without it. Ray tracing is a little rough, obviously, on this here. So without ray tracing, just ultra, and if you do want to use frame gen, right now you're getting immense FPS here. So very viable. Let's try 4K now. Okay, back to 4K. So there we go. So we're going to go like that. We will try a few different settings here. Let's just try normal ultra to start here. We will need scaling, obviously. So we'll try with frame gen, I suppose. And let's turn up the scaling, because I mean, it's transformer model. It's going to look just fine at such a massive resolution as 4K. So this is 4K ultra performance presets, performance DLSS with frame gen, and it feels just fine. I mean, we're getting 160, so the bass is decent here, so it doesn't feel leggy and weird. If there's screen tearing, it has nothing to do with it. It's just the screen. It has nothing to do with anything here. Yeah, it's running pretty well. This is doable here. With performance scaling, let's just make sure that stays. Performance again. I don't expect it to run that well. Yeah, 63 pre-frame gen. Oh, it feels so laggy. 108, so we're probably sitting at about 30 or 40. Yeah, it does not feel good here. It actually is kind of making me motion sick, to be honest. So you can definitely do 4K, but you're going to need scaling. Frame gen, maybe, maybe not. But ray tracing is going to be pretty rough overall on this game, at least at the higher resolution. It's going to be pretty rough. Okay, some Horizon Forbidden West now. We are at very high, I believe. Let's see. So high, no, we're going to go very high to start here. No frame gen. Double check all these settings here. Yeah, no dynamic resolution, no scaling, no frame gen. So this is 1600p native. On very high. Yeah, really good performance here. Easy 60, 1600p native, and just play. The game is pretty well optimized, to be honest. It doesn't do well on lower end hardware, but as long as you have reasonable specifications, it seems to do well. Yeah, it's running quite well, actually, to be honest. Let's throw in a little bit of scaling, just because why not? See what we can get. Just quality. I mean, we don't really even need it, but why not? I mean, yeah, you're getting an extra 40 frames, so you might as well use it. You're not going to be able to tell when quality is on. I'm going to throw in silent mode. See what we can get here. It's a little low, but playable. You could use more scaling, right? If need be. Yeah, I mean, you could certainly play like this. You're getting almost 60 as it is. And just the lightest amount of scaling. So we're back to balanced. Balance is a pretty big jump. And it won't be as noisy, so probably play like this, to be honest. But if you want it to be quiet, I mean, you can certainly play on silent. Let's throw it up there, back there. Let's try some 4K. We don't need to do too much for this game here. So we'll just go to 4K. So this is 4K with just quality scaling. You could turn up more scaling, of course. But I mean, you're getting pretty close to 60 over there. Yeah, you're going to be basically at 60. So 4K with just the lightest scaling, and you're going to get 60 gameplay. You could certainly throw on a little bit more. Like you could go with balanced or performance, whatever. That's too much. Even that alone should get us up quite a bit. Yeah, that'll mean, you know, you're not really ever dropping below 60. And then there's going to be areas where it's a lot higher. You could use more scaling as well if you want. Let's come back. I just want to try one more thing. We'll go turn that down because we won't need much because we're going to try frame gen here. So we'll try frame gen and just see what it does. I find it works pretty well in this game. And the base is already at approximately 60. So we should be okay here. Yeah, just quality scaling. Our base was almost 60. So the frame gen is just going to top us up an extra 20 frames. And it's still going to feel nice. Then you don't need much scaling. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.